Hi there. I'm John Haderlein, and I am the producer of The Beams Are Creaking here live on Facebook Live, Facebook, here on September 19th, 2020. I'm waiting for my brother and director, Don, to get on the video and join us. And there's Don. Hi, Don.
Hey, again, I'm Don Haderlein. Thank you for coming out to the show. Welcome to the show. I'd like to thank John Haderlein, our producer, my amazing brother of Mother Road Productions, our esteemed cast, as well as in attendance tonight, the playwright for this show, Douglas Anderson. I'd like to also thank Cecily O'Reilly, our dialect coach, Professor Emeritus, Columbia College, Chicago. And finally, there will be a 5-minute intermission between acts tonight. John?
Thank you, guys. We're ready to go. So as we say in the Zoom world, cameras off, mics off, and here we go.
In dieser Lage gibt es nach unserem Urteil zwischen uns Deutschen und in dem Weltkrieg siegreichen Nationen keine andere Verständigung.
Berliners cheer at the news. The 1936 Olympic Games will be held in the German capital.
The National Socialists have called upon President von Hindenburg to dissolve the Reichstag and call for new elections.
Unemployment in Germany has exceeded 6 million, compared to a figure of 1 million only 8 years ago.
Election returns gives the Nazi Party its largest plurality to date. Yet the victory is not sufficient to unseat the Social Democratic coalition.
Hindenburg declared to Hitler that he was ready to let the National Socialist Party participate in the Reich government. Herr Hitler declared that cooperation with the existing government was out of the question. He demanded the full and complete leadership of the Nazi Party. Hindenburg, in reply, said firmly that he must answer this demand with a clear, unyielding no. Hitler repeated that any other situation was unacceptable to him. To this, the Reich president replied, "So you will go into opposition?" Hitler, "I now have no alternative." The Reich president, "In that case, the only advice I can give you is to engage in the opposition in a chivalrous way and to remain conscious of your responsibility toward the fatherland. I have..."
Hello? Oh, hello, Hans. Yes, I've just returned. I'm glad to be home. America. It's an absolute mess. Honestly, Hans, it's a madhouse over there. There are over 200 Christian denominations. Can you believe it? Yeah, we stumbled upon one little town that had 4 Lutheran churches, each representing a slightly different strain, standing alongside each other on the same street. No, I'm not making this up. Said churches are like petrol stations. There's one on every corner and each one claims it can get you there faster and cheaper. How have you been? Good. Yes, I'm anxious to see you too. All right. We'll talk then. Looking forward to it. Goodbye.
Here's the newspaper.
Oh, thanks, Klaus. I'd like to see any back issues we might have.
I'll look around.
It's worse than I thought.
That's no surprise. Politics are always worse than we imagine.
They seem to be gaining strength.
Well, they're not worried. Hitler has merely flushed the crazies out of the garrets and into the open. Just what Father has been trying to do for years.
But does anyone know how to treat them?
Probably not.
And is the disease contagious?
Hello? Do you want to talk to a reporter?
Give me a few hours.
He's taking a bath. Call back next week. Well, he's very dirty.
You're a popular boy.
Goodness.
And there's more. Everyone wants to hear from you.
I don't understand.
Well, there's another basket of letters somewhere. Oh, and your father has the telegrams.
They're thinking of setting up a telegraph office in the parlor, or they were willing to set it up in your bedroom. But I thought the walk to the parlor would do you good.
That's very thoughtful of you.
Everyone is so curious. You can't blame them.
Perhaps you should publish your impressions.
I don't think so.
Why not?
Because they aren't especially flattering. America is, well, if you want to know the truth, it's a theological freak show.
Sounds like fun.
Oh, it's harrowing. What's this? A cable? Bishop Bell from Chichester says that he would like me to... Oh, he wants me to travel. Where's he? Ah, yes, of course. To the next ecumenical conference in Geneva.
Can't they do without you just this once?
The ecumenical work is most important. I should attend.
Hello? Herr Schultz from the university? No, he hasn't arrived yet. We think he's lost at sea.
Klaus!
The particle son has returned.
Oh, Sissy!
What have you missed?
I'm sorry?
What have you been talking about?
Religion in America, for the most part.
Dull, dull, dull. Tell me about New York City.
What about it?
I'm curious as can be. What does one do at night?
One tries to sleep, but it isn't easy.
Don't be clever. What are they wearing it?
Who?
The smart set.
Oh, burlap bags for all I know.
He's maddening.
How was the seminary?
Dull.
Yeah, he gives it low marks.
Oh, really? Why?
Because the Union Theological Seminary is still thrashing around in the 19th century someplace. It had very little to say to me.
I am so sorry to hear that.
I was impressed by the students, however. They took a very practical approach to their work. You may not believe this, but I was even induced to spend my Sundays at a Negro church, the Abyssinian Baptist Church on 138th Street. It's true. And now I'm absolutely addicted to Negro music. Spirituals, they call them. I brought back several phonograph records.
How, Dietrich, how do you compare the situation of the American Negro with the German Jews?
There's only the slightest similarities, Gerhard, as far as I can see.
You know, then you've been gone too long, Dietrich. Have you heard there's talk of excluding us from the civil service?
No. Klaus, is that true?
It isn't public knowledge yet, but in legal circles, it's a major issue.
Oh,
I may lose my job.
Gerhard, let's not.
And the boycott of the Jewish businesses is planned. If Hitler comes to power, human rights may disappear.
No, I hadn't heard any of this. I'm very sorry to hear it, Gerhard, and I understand and sympathize. But still, to answer your questions, the plight of your people is in this country is it cannot nearly be as terrible as the American oppression of Negroes. Believe me when I tell you that the situation with the Negroes will come to a head long before anything of that sort happens in Germany. In the southern states, there's open aggression, and nothing is being done to improve their lot. Absolutely nothing. Really, it is the problem in America. Anywho. Oh. Well, this is exciting.
What is it?
It's from Radio Berlin. They've asked me to deliver a radio address.
Oh.
Oh, congratulations.
Whatever will you talk about?
It's something we had negotiated while I was in New York. This is just to confirm the time.
And what will your topic be?
Life in America?
Well, surely.
No, not at all. It has nothing to do with America, actually. It has to do with... the title will be The Younger Generation's Changed View of the Concept of Führer.
And when will you deliver this address?
February 1st.
Oh,
February 1st. Are you out of your mind?
It's settled.
There may be a new government,
We hadn't planned it this way.
but surely you won't go through with it if the Nazis gain power.
It couldn't happen. It couldn't happen in Germany.
Dietrich, not only is a Nazi takeover distinctly possible, some think that it is imminent. There is no time for inflammatory rhetoric.
You haven't welcomed me home.
Welcome home.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Now cancel that speech.
Do you like your new job?
Very much.
Does this make you a spy?
Not everyone in the Abwehr is a spy. I handle the legal aspects. That's all. Klaus even works for us on occasion.
You don't creep about at night stealing documents?
No, I merely tell those that do creep around whether or not they'll get away with it.
I see.
The Abwehr is an elite operation, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
Well, I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Tell me, is it explosive?
What?
Your speech.
Oh, yeah. It's difficult to say. Potentially, I suppose.
But if Hitler is named Chancellor...
It couldn't happen in Germany.
Or if he is, surely your speech would be inappropriate.
Inappropriate. I think Hitler's election would make it also more apropos.
But certainly...
Shall we have some dinner?
You can't imagine
I'm
that...
famished.
Will you listen?
There's nothing to be done! Sorry, old friend. But I'm determined to give that speech. Shall we eat?
Yes, of course. Dietrich, tell me one thing. You're firmly committed to this radio talk?
Absolutely.
Contractually or morally?
Both.
January 30th, 1933. The National Socialist Party has taken control of the government. To repeat, the National Socialist Party has taken control of the German government.
The composition of the new Reich cabinet: Reich Chancellor Adolf Hitler, Reich Minister of the Interior Dr. Wilhelm Frick, Reich Minister without portfolio Hermann Göring.
The Nazi government will fully protect Christianity, according to them, the basis of their entire morality. It will, beyond estates and classes, make their people aware of religious and political unity and the duties that evolve therefrom. Once jailed for his radical beliefs, he is now at the helm of one of the most promising nations in Europe. I am at this moment standing in the heart of Berlin, where a crowd of thousands has just learned of the victory of Adolf Hitler. Many think the new Reich Chancellor will usher in a new dawn of hope, a new era of stability and progress. One is immediately struck by the enthusiasm of this crowd and the glorious profusion of Nazi emblems. Spring has come early this year. Swastikas have bloomed and blossomed all over this magnificent city.
The office of the Führer, though uniquely powerful, has its clear limitations. The Führer must be aware of this, and by his actions constantly remind his party of the limited nature of his role. A Führer may be idolized by his followers. They, in their total devotion, can create an atmosphere which magnifies the Führer's perception of his responsibilities. This must at all costs be avoided, or the Führer, our leader, will quickly become the Führer, our misleader, and his tenure will be marked by the gravest offenses. We cannot live without a Führer. This is clear. But we also cannot live without teacher, father, worker, farmer, minister. In each case, the responsibilities are clearly defined and complementary. One serves the other, one aids the other, and we move forward. To be feared are those who would think of the Führer as an absolute being, a masterman, unconstrained and omnipotent. The Führer must know that he serves his followers. In fact, he is their servant. The Führer serves his nation. The individual is primarily responsible before God. For many, this is obvious. But we sense a movement to unseat God, a plot to install the Führer as the ultimate authority in our lives. Should this happen?
Well, they were frightened, of course, after they cut off his radio speech. Oh, that's just it. Dietrich felt he had to respond, so he reproduced the speech and sent it to everyone he knew. And then he delivered it at the university. Then it was published. But he's aware of that. But what else could he do? Listen, I promised to sit through some of his phonograph records. We can talk again soon. Fine. Goodbye.
Who was that?
General Van Haas.
Ah, Uncle Paul. What did he want?
He's worried about you. He says you talk too much.
Well, I think my speeches have a certain economy.
That's not what he meant.
I know what he meant. This is perhaps my favorite.
May I ask what you intend to do?
I don't know. I truly don't know. If I knew, I'd tell you. But it's clear that something must be done. In a matter of months, Hitler has taken control of the legislature, civil organizations, the press, and now he even has a foothold in the church. Do you know Mueller?
The new bishop? He's a baboon.
Of course. Hitler is fashioning a church that not only fails to condemn evil, but virtually endorses it. So, I will resist.
The question is, how?
Yes, exactly how. You see, Klaus, I'm hooked on the crazy notions that I think the church can rescue Germany.
That's not so crazy. But first, somebody will have to rescue the church.
Agreed.
And that's an enormous task.
Agreed.
Are you up to it?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. What would you do in my situation?
I'd probably play it safe. Lie low for a while. But knowing you, that's not possible. So do the next best thing.
Which is?
Organize. Get some help. Well, there must be other pastors who agree with you.
No, there are.
Then find them. Align them and get to work.
You make it sound so simple.
No, it won't be. But it's a start.
I was toying with the idea of setting up a seminary.
Why?
The battle will be fought in the future. We will need trained troops.
So long as you know what you're getting into.
That's just it. I don't. Beautiful, isn't it? I must tell you that what impressed me so much about the black man in America, I don't know if it is due to his poverty or oppression or whatever, but his religion is so much a way for life than it is for us. It overflows into his music and even his conversation. There's a real sense of being part of Christian communities that the German church seems to lack. I think if German Christianity were more a way of life instead of merely a Sunday's obligation, something like the Nazi movement would never have taken root. Now our church seems powerless to oppose it.
One thing, this resistance movement will probably disrupt your career.
All of a sudden, Klaus, I think it is my career.
All those who are concerned for the safe structure of our church in the great revolution of these times must feel deeply thankful that the state should have assumed, in addition to all its tremendous tasks, the great load and burden of reorganizing the church.
Allow me to handle the introductions. General Gehring, this is Pastor Dietrich Bonhoeffer, a charter member of the so-called Pastors Emergency League.
Herr Hitler, I am General Goering.
Good morning, Herr General.
I should like to keep this gathering as informal as possible. As you can see, there are no secretaries or recorders. I have come representing the Führer to patiently hear your demands and then offer the state's sense of matter. Ludwig, do you have anything for this man to drink?
Yes, I
There's
just
really no
have
need
some.
for that, Herr General.
As you wish. But I would like some brandy, Ludwig. Now then, the state before you will listen to your grievances. Danke. We will do it with great interest. Do not be afraid to speak. It will be within these four walls. The Führer himself has taken a great interest in this situation and would like the matters to be clarified and corrected as quickly as possible.
So if I may begin, Herr General.
Oh, dreadful Ben Brandy, Ludwig. It tastes like otter wine.
I'm sorry, Herman.
This is you needn't remind me. Anyways, proceed, Pastor Bonhoeffer.
Herr General. The Pastors Emergency League wishes to state in no uncertain terms its opposition to A, the Aryan Clause, especially the decree about which requires any member of the German church to prove Aryan ancestry to 3 generations, and B, the decree for the restoration of the orderly conditions in the German evangelical church. The first is a pronouncement of Reich Bishop Müller, the second a new decree of the Führer, which confers direct...
Pastor Bonhoeffer, I do read the newspapers and have a certain familiarity with your point A and point B. You need not elucidate.
Yes, sir, forgive me. I have here to present to you a list of regional churches who have sworn not to comply with the Aryan Clause.
So sorry. Is that your point A or point B?
It's point A, sir.
I see, I see. Does this mean that the churches on the list subscribe to your point B?
Not in the least, sir. If you will permit me to continue.
By all means.
Nor will they comply with the muzzling decree.
Muzzling decree? Is that your point C?
No, sir. It is merely a common name for the restoration of order decree, which is point B.
Of course. Proceed.
I have a second document.
Document B.
A second document which is signed by 72 professors and university tutors who protest the restoration of order decree. Point B, if you will.
I could care less. You're the one who started alphabetizing everything in sight.
Put simply then, Herr General, our message is this. The Church under Bishop Mueller has put forth a bold-faced anti-Semitic decree and then compounded the shame by attempting to stifle the outpouring of dissent. The ministers associated with the Pastors' Emergency League will not be party to this degeneration. We have number 6,000 upon request. I will submit a list of their names and parishes.
Heavens, no, 9. We shan't have enough letters in the alphabet. Besides, we already know who they are. Are you through? Or do you have a point Q or a point P hiding somewhere in the brushes somewhere?
We have made our statement, Herr General.
Fine, Ludwig. Bishop Mueller, would you like to speak to these charges briefly before I speak for the state?
Most certainly, Herr General. As you know, the Führer took office at a time of tremendous disharmony and disagreement. He rightly surmised that his first act as leader would be the restoration of order and harmony in German society. To use his term, coordination. He has achieved this in many areas, in the press, in industry, and in the arts. But the church, our church, has been dragging his feet. The Aryan clause and the decree for the restoration of the orderly conditions were both formulated to restore order to the church. We have a mandate as Christians and as Germans to do so.
That is fine, Ludwig, just fine. Gentlemen, I think your differences are out in the open. Put into basic terms, the Pastors' Emergency League would like to see Bishop Mueller dismissed, and you will secede, and poor Bishop Mueller has no intention of resigning. We've reached an impasse. It's a nice word, impasse. Now, I am wondering if the fact that I could have thrown you in jail would temper your thoughts any.
That's not possible.
Not only is it possible, Pastor Bonhoeffer, but it is highly improbable. So I have a little document A of my own. This particular document is a transcription of a telephone conversation which was made between you and a fellow traitor within the month. I shall not read the entire dialogue, but confine myself to a few choice exchanges.
How long has my telephone been tapped?
Oh, it's hard to say. Quoting from the transcripts, we will see. Here, fellow traitor said, "Do you think an appeal to Hindenburg would be of value?" Bonhoeffer replies, "Not at all. Hitler has sucked Hindenburg dry. He has no more power to persuade Hitler than you or I. Fellow traitor, but if he has still public respect, Bonhoeffer, when you're dealing with a lunatic dictator, public respect can be hanged. That, Pastor Bonhoeffer, smacks of treason. My chief counselor tells me that it is a single transcription alone as the grounds for 15 separate.
If you intend to prosecute, arrest me here, now.
Let's not be so melodramatic. My friend, we have no intention of persecuting ministers at this time. Confidentially, with the turbulent state of the country, and especially with the Olympics, the government does not need any political prisoners or martyrs. We do contend, however, that all the divisiveness within the church is due to probably illegal activities of you and your league. And that seminary of yours is a thinly disguised propaganda machine created to distribute lies to the foreign press. Fortunately for you, that we will not take action at this time. But if and when we do, it will be swift and decisive. Well, I'd like to stay for another round, but I'm a very busy man. I hope the next time that we meet, it would be a very pleasant one. I do wish you a good day.
Your Excellency.
Your bishop has not dismissed you. I'm becoming very impatient with this nonsense. You have no idea how difficult my position is. I am constantly asked to find common ground between Christ and Hitler, and this is dangerous work that leaves no room for inexperienced dabblers like yourself. This isn't religion anymore, it's politics, and you have no place here.
We would prefer not to secede. And yet, there may be no alternative.
You can't secede from the state! You cannot secede from the state! If you do, you'll be conducting your services in jail.
Excuse me.
What? What?
May I have a word with you?
Are you from the newspaper?
Yes, I am. I need to know what books you're burning.
Oh, books whose authors are enemies of the Third Reich.
For example?
Sigmund Freud, Theodor Heuss. We burn the books of Albert Einstein.
Einstein? Have you read him?
I don't have to. Or century, or scholarship, it is a joy to be alive.
Who put you up to this?
Or century, or scholarship, it is a joy
Who
to be alive.
put you up to this? I've forgotten how cold it can get in Chichester.
Oh, one gets used to it. Oh, I meant to tell you, so moved was I by your last letter that I reproduced it and sent it to everyone involved. I trust you don't mind.
Of course not. What was the response?
Agony.
Hmm.
It's a sticky problem for the International Alliance. The German Church decides to ignore anyone who happens to be of Jewish descent. Do you think that Christ would ignore anyone who happened to be of Jewish descent? Shocking.
Yes, it is.
And yet, there is very little the Church of England, or anyone for that matter, can do about it. Oh, yes, we can comfort the German refugees who come to us daily, but we've precious little influence in Berlin.
Of course.
I suppose I could draft a letter to Hitler.
That would be futile.
Perhaps we could persuade.
No.
We could be
Forgive me, Bishop Bell, but I'm still trying to convert Hitler. It is rather we who must be converted now to a new notion of what this fight is all about.
But the question remains, what can the international ecumenical movement do?
Many things. Thinking is valuable.
Dietrich!
I'm not being clever, sir. Public opinion can be a powerful tool.
Oh, yes, of course.
Then, well, there's the other matter.
Yes?
Bishop Bell, it seems inevitable that our resistance movement will secede from the German National Church.
I was afraid of that.
I've avoided it for as long as possible, for fear that we'll soon be splintered into 100 factions like the church in America. There's great danger. Physical danger. Hitler won't like these cracks in his national facade.
What can we do to help?
Recognize our new confessing church.
Hitler will say we're meddling.
What are our alternatives?
If we do confirm your group, it could be the opening salvo in a bloody theological war.
I realize that. But if nothing is done, Germany will be decimated in the name of Christ. And if the international Christian community stands idly by, tacitly supporting these atrocities, if it doesn't speak up and speak up now, who will be to blame?
Yes, the seminary at Fingerwalds. I'll wait.
We'll do what we can.
Please, the director's office. Yes, thank you.
Hello?
Dietrich Bonhoeffer?
Yes.
Eberhard Betzger. Calling from the Altmark. Can you hear me?
There seems to be some static, but yes, you're coming through.
I hear you very clearly.
Huh, good.
How was England?
Inconclusive.
Sorry to hear it.
No, don't be. We'll convince him yet. When will you be back to the seminary?
Soon.
In time for the Olympics?
I hope so. Bye.
You won't believe this, but I'm closing the seminary for a week and taking everyone to the games.
How exciting.
So wrap up that confirmation class and get back here as soon as possible.
That's why I'm calling. The confirmation class, it's a disaster.
I'm sorry? Wait. The last part, I lost that.
The confirmation class, it's a disaster.
Oh no.
I began with 50 candidates, and as the next class, there was only 15, and now I'm down to 3.
What went wrong?
I began as you instructed with the Old Testament prophets.
Yes?
But it's the most curious thing. No one here will have anything to do with them. Just mention of Isaiah or Ezekiel, and it drives people from the church.
I don't understand.
They're ripping them out of their Bibles.
But why would anyone distrust the Old Testament prophets?
Because, Pastor Bonifer, they were Jews.
Owens, USA! Owens, USA!
Oh. Oh, the 200 meters or 400 meters. What else?
The long jump
The long jump.
Oh, gold medals.
against the greatest athletes in the world.
Just a beautiful thing to look at, isn't he?
So powerful.
Perfectly proportioned.
This is interesting. Hitler looked very annoyed.
As well he should.
Well, let me see.
They say he's snubbing the Americans.
I've heard that too.
It's ironic, isn't it? Hitler spends millions to create this showcase for his ideas, but there's one thing he didn't anticipate. That an American would steal all the limelight. A beautiful Negro.
So there are two heroes at the 11th Olympiad of the modern era. J.C. Owens, the ebony antelope, scampered away with 4 gold medals in the hearts of everyone in the arena. And Adolf Hitler has demonstrated to the world the stability and vitality of this country. Thanks to him, we now have a first line of defense against the communists. If you ask me, Americans should thank God for Adolf Hitler.
Shall we go?
Not just yet.
We'll be the last to leave the stadium. What's troubling you?
I'm afraid to go back to the seminary.
Why?
I call it a premonition. I'm afraid that we might find there.
I'm sorry. I don't understand.
The movement. Our little crusade has been tolerated up till now, but I suspect that tolerance is merely a byproduct of the Olympics. Once the foreign press departs, but let's just say I fear an official change of heart.
We'll fight them.
Of course we will. But I don't relish the battle. Eberhard, did you ever wake up in a strange place? No idea how you got there.
No, sir.
Neither have I. But try this. Have you ever become so completely lost in a forest that you couldn't retrace your steps?
No, sir.
Neither have I. Have you ever gone on holiday, say, and lost your maps? Bless you. Well, what does one do in such a situation?
Charge ahead anyway, I suppose.
But what if I'm walking in circles? What if I'm expending a great deal of energy, but getting more and more lost, more and more frightened, and more lonely?
There's an easy solution. Never travel alone.
Join us. Become part of our conspiracy.
I couldn't possibly.
Your new church has been squashed. They've closed your seminaries.
But there is much work to be done. How can you expect me to abandon the religious struggle and take some kind of political war?
We need someone with your international connections.
Hans, we're fighting on completely different battlefronts.
But it is the same enemy. Your own ministers have begun to yield to the pressure. They've all taken the oath to Hitler.
That is not true.
300 this week. They've begun to put some on the radio.
It has been decreed that anyone called to a spiritual office must take a special oath to the Führer. Franz Holst, newly ordained in the German church, has agreed to take the oath here today.
I swear I will be faithful and obedient to Adolf Hitler, the Führer of the German Reich and people. I will obey him, conscientiously observe all laws, and carry out the duties of my office. So help me God.
Following this oath will be another punishing decree of some kind. And then another, until your brave little sapling of a church has been thoroughly disemboweled. We have information that would change your mind if you were informed.
No. Who wants to be informed? Huh? Not I. To be informed under Hitler is to risk everything you have. My natural curiosity has lately changed into an instinctive reluctance to know. I may see Hitler on the street tomorrow. Should I shoot him?
You'd miss. And a good thing, too. Kill Hitler now, and another that rise to take his place.
Then what do you want me to do?
A coup d'etat, a putsch, doesn't happen in a vacuum. To succeed, it needs international support. And, as you're fond of traveling...
Oh, no. They'd never let me out of the country.
Then we'll invent ways to get you out.
Why me?
Because your church work has given you access to every European government. Like it or not, you are a one-man communications network.
But even if I wanted to help, I'm a marked man. How could you get me across the border?
We propose to make you a special agent of the Abwehr.
The Abwehr? This is absurd!
Not so!
The Abwehr! Are you out of your minds? I am not a spy.
You might enjoy it.
Are you crazy?
Just let us explain.
The Abwehr is the only intelligence organ that is beyond the reach of the Nazis. Admiral Canaris secretly opposes the regime and goes out of his way to take on resistance members.
I've been with them for months.
The machine is efficient and so far autonomous, so that Canaris will have no trouble declaring you an indispensable agent.
Indispensable agent.
Yes, the logic is simple. The Abwehr will make it known that it is employing you and your connections to seek out the opposition. In the eyes of the state, you'll be a double agent, a repentant pastor who exploits past ties to monitor insurgents and report back to the Abwehr.
But really, you'd be a triple agent.
Do you honestly think that anyone would swallow that, given my reputation?
They already have.
Admiral Canaris would see it and see to it that all of your prohibitions are dropped. Not only could you move freely, but, and this is the ironic part, you could travel at Hitler's expense.
An ambassador at large for the resistance, funded by the Nazis.
This is lunacy. I could never conspire to kill a man.
What is the alternative?
To be patient and work within the laws of God and state.
There is no time for patience. Last week at a staff meeting, Hitler said something to the effect that every generation needs its own war, and that he was going to take care that this generation gets one too. He then laid plans for the elimination of Czechoslovakia.
No.
The exact details have not yet filtered down to us, but when he moves, he'll move quickly.
Will you join us?
I must think about it. To move from serving God through writing and to somehow serving God through conspiracy and perhaps murder. I wasn't trained for this.
Have to pick up some papers.
Sabine, has something happened?
Are you all right?
I'm fine.
Yes, Gerhard.
I'm in a hurry. I have no time to explain.
What are you looking for?
Nothing.
She has her papers and her passport.
Where are you going?
Don't ask questions, please.
What is happening to you?
Terrible things are coming, and we must move quickly.
You're emigrating.
How can you?
We had no choice. The past few weeks have been unbearable. The new proclamations, the stars, the job restrictions, I don't know. But we accepted them. We couldn't live with them, but Gerhard was told that the persecution of Jews to date has been mere child's play. And if war broke out, it would be. I don't understand it. How can this be happening to Germany? We naturally have been on the lookout for any sign, any hint of war, and now?
What have you heard?
The wheels have begun to turn. Hitler is going to seize Czechoslovakia. You knew this, didn't you? You heard the same thing?
Yes.
I really didn't need any confirmation. Our sources are trustworthy. The frontiers will be closed very soon, and if we don't move quickly, we may not get across. We'll cross the border somewhere near Basel, then perhaps to England. I don't know. We'll be fine, honestly.
We'll miss you terribly.
Oh, Dietrich, how can this be happening?
Who can say? We must all make sacrifices. Know that we love you, and you keep in very close contact. Do you hear me? Cable whenever you can. It is vital.
I will. I promise. Well, holy space will separate us.
Yeah, God.
My own sister, no longer welcome in her home country. How can this be happening? How can this be happening in Germany? Hans,
Yes?
I will be a conspirator.
The infantry, 2 armored divisions, and the air armies have laid siege to the Polish capital. Outnumbered and outmaneuvered, Warsaw offers no match for the German forces.
Denmark falls without a shot. The Jutland border was breached at 5 o'clock this morning. The Danes warmly accept their new role as...
The Norwegian government has received a series of demands. They include a proclamation asking the people not to resist German troops, the surrender of all means of communication, the suspension of...
June 14th, 1940, the German army occupies Paris.
The German
swastika flies on the Champs-Élysées.
The German forces report key victories at all points along the invasion into Russia. A sledgehammer's blow has taken our legions across the Niemen River to within 50 miles of Minsk.
50 kilometers of Minsk. Does anyone really believe that?
Apparently so.
We haven't come within 10 kilometers of the Niemen River.
We receive radio reports like this every day.
Then we're lying to ourselves.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Excuse my tardiness.
Oh, it's quite all right, Dietrich. This is First Lieutenant Fabian von Schlabendorf, fresh from the Eastern Front. Lieutenant, this is Dietrich Bonhoeffer, who handles all international connections for our calls.
How do you do?
I'm pleased to finally be able to meet you. By all indications, you've been excellent work.
I have. Why must we meet here?
Oh, a crowd is more safe than our homes. Our phones have been tapped and neighbors tend to eavesdrop.
Then you are suspected?
No. We are safe here.
So let's get to work. What have you learned?
We have a new friend. Commander Brauschitz.
Brauschitz!
Commander-in-Chief.
Just listen to me. Commander Brauschitz is sympathetic. He has been very shaken by the disasters of this campaign, and he blames Hitler and the SS. Now, It implied to me that he would not stand in the way of Hitler's removal.
Excellent. Excellent.
Good work.
We talked quite a bit about it, the commander and I. He said to me that he thinks Hitler is the Antichrist.
No. Hitler is not big enough for that. He may be manipulated by it, but surely the Antichrist cannot be as stupid as this man.
At any rate, we must make plans for the assassination. There is a perfect opportunity at hand.
Oh, now, let's not be quite so zealous about this. There are pitfalls.
The question is when to kill Hitler. If he's killed too soon, while the Nazis are still strong, another Hitler will take his place. Kill him too late, after the Allied are victorious, and nothing is gained.
There is a particular moment.
The moment the roof is just about to cave in, when the people begin to sense that something is very wrong.
Yes. Our code phrase for this moment is, the beams are creaking.
I understand.
Just before they snap, we move.
I see. But I think we should capitalize on a fortunate occurrence. Hitler will be visiting the Eastern Front soon. He will be in Smolensk on March 13th and will fly from there to East Prussia in a small aeroplane that I have access to. If you can get your hands on a small explosive.
That can be done.
How small?
Small enough to fit into something like a liquor bottle. I will plant it on the aeroplane, and it will never touch down in East Prussia.
It is an attractive scheme.
The action of the Army, Air Force, and Navy has been so successful, it exceeds even the most optimistic expectations. Victory, complete and total German victory on the Eastern Front is imminent. Heil Hitler! Heil Hitler! Heil Hitler!
Sieg heil! Sieg heil! Sieg heil!
Heil Hitler.
You surprised me, Dietrich. Not a word of that report was true.
We shall all have to risk our lives for very different things now, but not for the sake of that salute. These petty outward shows of resistance, like refusing to take an oath, these have become meaningless when it comes to keeping our position and protecting our cover.
And honor?
Honor be hanged. Somebody has to do the dirty work, and the only way we'll get by with it is to succumb to these superficial rituals that Hitler is so fond of.
Still, I'm anxious to blow that aeroplane to bits.
So am I.
Did you see that Max Reinhardt is making motion pictures in America?
Max Reinhardt. No, I didn't.
Oh, well, apparently his talent hasn't been wasted after all. There's something to be thankful for. Oh, do you know that I met him once?
Did you?
Yes, once. After a Shakespeare comedy. I can't recall the title. Oh, it's been 30 years now. But I vividly remember the feeling of the play. His production seemed to glow.
He had a way of blowing the dust off of Shakespeare.
Precisely. A breath of fresh air. I hadn't realized he was Jewish.
Reinhardt was lucky to get out.
It must have broken his heart. Oh, listen to this. Oh, he's committed A Midsummer Night's Dream to film in Hollywood. Oh, one wonders if we'll ever get to see it.
The artist will return when the war is over.
Years from now,
Perhaps not.
this cursed war will drag on forever.
Have a little faith. Perhaps it's only a matter of weeks.
Is that possible?
It's possible.
A letter from Dietrich Bonhoeffer. Via Switzerland.
How will it happen?
Dear Bishop Bell, the weather in Berlin has taken a turn for the worse.
It's happening even as we speak.
We've had more than our share of snow lately. Will it ever stop? Uncle Rudy's barn is in very sad shape. So much snow has accumulated on the roof that we fear it may collapse, and the building wobbles and the beams are creaking. Well, it was never much use to him. No doubt it won't be here by the next time you visit.
Oh, dear God. Say a little prayer, Michael.
For whom?
For me. And bring the car around.
The car at this hour?
We've 100 telegrams to dispatch. Oh, I just hope that I can remember everything he told me to do.
He? Who?
Uncle Rudy. Of course. Oh, poor man. He's losing his barn.
I mustn't tell you the particulars, Mother.
I don't want to know them. And yet, not knowing your plans is trying, very trying.
You must all be patient.
But where does patience come from? When one feels ready to burst with frustration, it's the thread of hope that gives one courage, that carries one through the day. I'm afraid I am losing that thread. What is your involvement, Dietrich?
General Brandt! Here, General Brandt!
Are you in danger?
Fabian, what are you doing in Sibilance?
How can we help you? What should I pray for?
Are you flying with the Führer to East Prussia?
Yes, they've got me along for ballast.
Then I need your help. I'm involved in a little birthday trick.
Oh.
On Streffel.
Oh, Streffel, huh? Oh, count me in.
Oh, good man. On my last anniversary, Streffel broke into my quarters and filled my two-powder tin with chili peppers.
Oh.
I nearly died. But I'm determined to get even.
With cognac?
My own recipe. 2 parts brandy, 10 parts castor oil.
Oh, will you never grow up?
Just keep it out of the Führer's sight.
Oh, understood.
And get it to Streffel as soon as you touch down.
Oh, will do.
See you in a few months.
Auf Wiedersehen.
It's difficult to explain. Suppose a man witnesses an accident, a terrible accident in which a drunken driver smashes into a young girl and then fails to stop. The witness must make a decision. Either he nurses the victim who lies bleeding, perhaps even dying, on the pavement, or he pursues the driver to prevent him from repeating his horrid crime down the road. Christ told us to nurse the sick, and most people would tend to the little girl. But as for me, I've gone after the driver.
Though the fighting on the Eastern Front remains intense, the Führer personally expected the ranks this weekend, imparting courage and inspiration to the men in the field. He returned to Berlin just this morning, confident of victory.
We do not know.
Did the explosive reach the plane?
Yes,
Are you certain?
of course. I gave the bottle to General Brandt myself. That is why we wired that the mission was successful.
He was so ecstatic.
We do not know why it failed to go off. The fuse was set at 1/2 hour.
Are we suspected?
No, thank God. I managed to get to Brandt before he could deliver the bomb to Streffel.
He must have been surprised to see you.
What did you tell him?
I made up some tale about getting the date wrong and that because of new orders I would be in that part of the country often and could deliver the practical joke myself.
And he believed you?
Oh, I'm sure of it.
We were fortunate, but preparations have been made for the putsch.
I understand.
The world is waiting.
I understand.
We must make another attempt this week, if at all possible.
We have another plan. Hitler will not set foot in public again until Heroes Memorial Day, the 21st.
Ah, yes, of course. He'll preside over the ceremony in Unter der Linden.
Yeah, at the Sig House. Major von Gersdorf is a key man in a very interesting proposal.
Oh, well, our plan is this. We have learned that after the ceremonies, the Führer will inspect some captured Russian weapons in the arsenal. He will be in the building for 30, maybe 35 minutes. I help secure the display, so, my mobility won't be hindered. At that time, I will place 2 explosive devices in the pockets of my coat, maneuver into a position next to the Führer, place my hands in my pockets, and detonate.
You've made this decision freely.
Freely, he was one of several who begged for the assignment.
I don't know what to say to you, Major. Should I cheer your bravery or curse the waste of your young life?
It won't be wasted.
Now, where do I reach you when the mission is completed?
At my home.
Oh, no, Hans, you've pledged to be at my father's this day. Remember, it's his 75th birthday. Should we change our plans?
No.
Our present to father will be a kind of concert. It's a tradition. A few of us will perform Wallerke's praise to the Lord.
At what time is the commemorative ceremony?
10.
What will we be doing in the morning?
Supposedly rehearsing for the party that afternoon, but arrangements can be changed.
No, we must act as if nothing is planned or prepared. We will rehearse the cantata until you contact us by phone with the message that Hitler is dead.
Dear God. Will we be able to keep our minds on some music? I'm sorry. Very sorry. My fault entirely.
Yeah, I was floundering anyways. Did you pick up my phrase at the top of the score?
Ah,
My brother is out of practice. He's known praise to the Lord for some time.
He is on edge this morning.
We've all been tense.
Yes, but I think this is my fault. I've asked Maria to join us this afternoon.
Oh, that explains it.
Maria von der Meyer?
Yes, Dietrich won't admit it, but I think he's been seeing her on weekends.
What a surprise.
He's full of surprises, isn't he?
Encore, encore, we'll master this if it kills us. 1, 2, 3.
Praise to the Lord, the Almighty, the King of creation. O my soul, praise him, for he is thy health and salvation. Join the great throng, psaltery, organ, and song, sounding in glad
It's all right.
adoration.
It's all right. We'll have to go back.
Bravo, bravo.
It isn't quite polished yet, is it?
Yes.
We'll take the ending once more. Is that the correct time?
I have 10:55.
It's gone wrong.
What's wrong? We're missing our two bravura voices. That's what's wrong. Sabine and Gerhard just can't be replaced.
Do you know, they were able to cable their congratulations from London this morning. We're saving the messages for the toasts.
Once more. Hans, will you ever find that B flat?
It's being difficult, but I'm bound to stumble upon it soon. Praise to the Lord, the Almighty, the King
Dietrich.
of creation.
Yeah.
Dietrich, there is a Gestapo agent at the door.
What can we do? Let him in.
Please, please, don't stop the music on my account.
What is your business here, sir?
I'm looking for a man named Bonaparte.
Here.
You misunderstand me.
I am Dietrich Bonhoeffer.
No, sir.
What do you want? I am Dietrich Bonhoeffer.
And I seek Karl Bonhoeffer, Professor Emeritus, Berlin University.
You mean father? I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Professor Bonhoeffer is one of the few chosen to receive a very high honor. You should be proud.
We had not been warned.
The Führer likes to surprise deserving men and women with his praise. He feels it is most effective when delivered unexpectedly. Professor Bonaparte?
Yes?
I carry a telegram from your Führer in honor of your 75th birthday. Please be seated. I will read it to you. It has been decreed that, no, that is not it. In the name of the German people, I bestow on Professor Emeritus Dr. Karl Bonhoeffer the Goethe Medal of Art and Science instituted by the late Reich President Hindenburg. Signed, the Führer, Adolf Hitler. Congratulations, sir. Your medal.
Well done.
I'm stunned, literally stunned. It's not very heavy.
The medal was designed to be cast in silver, but, you know.
The war effort.
Yeah, the war effort has claimed every scrap of that metal. So now it's composed of inferior elements.
So long as it's not ticking.
The Bureau has also instructed me to convey his personal best wishes on this day and expresses his desire to meet you in the near future.
I'm expecting a call. I'm just going to, it's merely Uncle Rudy. Please don't let me disturb you. I will make the call.
So, this life of mine has been like a good drama with a nice ironical twist near the final curtain. There are many ironies. Am I not correct, Klaus? Please, sir, tell the Fuhrer that although my family and I have been rather outspoken opponents of his methods, and although I'm not altogether sure of his motives in this instance, I humbly accept this tin trophy. Yeah, I honestly do. And I promise to abandon my long habit of psychoanalyzing him now that he has proven his insanity by forwarding this award.
You are joking, of course, Dr. Bonhoeffer.
Oh, of course.
I thought so. Yeah. Well, now if you will excuse me. Heil Hitler!
Something is about to happen. They've been waiting for this.
Yeah, I'm afraid. They look so solemn.
I see. Yes? Yes, go on.
It's not good.
Shh. Listen.
Yes. Thank you. Hitler chose not to tour the arsenal as planned. No one knows why. Perhaps he was tipped off. What's worse, von Gersdorf is not to be found. Hans, Klaus, I've been told the Gestapo is searching for both of you. They have my name as well. Eberhard, it seems they know nothing of your involvement at this time, thank God. They will be here soon. It is best that everyone return home and destroy as much as possible. We haven't time for crying or even goodbyes. There's much work yet to be done. We must cover our tracks.
Yes. Yes.
They have no proof.
My paperwork is well hidden. It will take days to uncover it.
Outlying Abwehr posts must be contacted.
Contingency plans have been arranged.
Kolbon, Zorsen.
Hamburg.
Any post that has special putsch files, they must be destroyed. Now hurry!
Yes. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, Mother, Father.
Hurry! Please hurry! Eberhard, grab my valise in the hallway.
We'll see you out.
The back way.
What has happened?
Oh, you've won a medal. Now come.
Hurry, please, hurry. Okay, let's see here. Okay, burn everything in that valise, yeah? Quickly.
Was your lecture?
Yes, don't worry about my lectures or the outline. We haven't time to sift through or decide what is worth keeping. Put it in the fireplace now. Okay, most of this correspondence it deals with my ecumenical work in Sweden and Switzerland. It might mislead them.
There is some.
Yes, I'll leave it lying about.
The correspondence in your hall.
Some correspondence. Oh, no, too obvious. If we place it behind the figurine, they're bound to find it.
Shall I search the next room?
Yes, Bishop Bell's letters should be burned. Second left drawer. Burns the lot. Brings the collection of journals from the bottom drawer in here. Okay. Oh,
Jenna.
we must tidy up.
And 2 packets of correspondence?
Let me see the letters. Yes, burn them. But we'll leave the journals lying about. I took care to write nothing of the conspiracy.
You seem to be enjoying this.
I do, don't I?
Do you really think they'll rush you?
It's not clear whether they are acting on other information or if they are aware of the attempted assassination, but I'm told that we will all be detained. Oh my God, Eberhard. I must tell you one thing more and then you must leave, but I must tell someone or I'll burst.
Yes?
Last week, this is embarrassing. We thought it would be best to conceal it at first, but...
You've been called up?
No. Engaged to be married.
What? Engaged to be... to whom?
Maria von Wedemeyer. I behaved terribly, I know, but it's...
No, it's wonderful. It's just that...
Please inform mother and father during a common moment. We wouldn't have announced it formally, of course, but only after the danger had passed. There might have been reprisals against our family, you understand?
Of course.
And now you must go, okay? Through the kitchen. It is bad enough for me to be suspect. We must capitalize on their ignorance of your involvement.
Are you afraid?
Yes. It's all I can do to keep from stealing out the back door myself. But I must wait. I must wait alone. Go.
Dietrich! Bonaparte!
They've come.
We will now have a 5-minute intermission. Please meet the cast.
A mighty fortress is our God, a bulwark never failing. Our helper he amidst a flood of mortal ills prevailing. For still our ancient foe.
Second Sunday of the month, Padre.
Shush. His craft and power great, and armed with cruel fate. On earth he's not his equal. Thank you for waiting.
I do the floor today.
Excellent. It's good news.
Hmm.
I'll assist you, huh?
No, you don't. It's my job.
I could use the exercise.
Forget it.
I work cheap.
We all do.
And I'm very fast. We'll have it done. No.
Padre, that's just the point. The faster it's done, the less time I get to spend up here with you.
I'm flattered.
Put them down.
But Nobler.
Who's in charge here?
I was just...
Who makes the rules?
You, of course, but...
Then drop those books. Now, you try to help me one more time. And I'll get unpleasant.
Yes, Herr Corporal.
That's more like it.
Will you be through in July?
Not if I can help it. You know, you might as well know it, Padre. There's a daily battle to see who gets to serve duty upon this floor. The chat with you is worth a day's pay.
I'm not worth it.
Oh, yes, you are. In the middle of all this shit, you make us feel human again.
So, what would you like to talk about today?
Just anything.
Just anything, huh?
Anything at all. I'm not very particular.
Nor am I.
I was kind of wondering, what was all that singing about?
When? Just now?
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's nothing special. Just a kind of musical yardstick I've been using. You see, I try to walk 10 kilometers a day by counting steps, but it's so tedious, and I always lose track in the middle anyway. But a mighty fortress is our God, has 104 beats. With meter-long strides on the beat, 10 verses equals a kilometer.
Sounds boring to me. The same hymn over and over.
Oh, but it isn't. It's the oddest thing, but I begin to hear harmony. Beautiful, complex chords and patterns. It's all in my head, of course, but it's very, very real, very immediate. One verse, a descant will materialize, and in another, several voices will weave in and around as a melody. I never hear the same way twice.
So, you hear voices now, do you?
Whole choirs. I suppose it means I'm crazy.
Oh, I don't know. Hitler hears voices and you wouldn't call him crazy, would you?
Not to his face.
Oh, don't watch your feet.
Sorry.
Oh.
Noblach, who is that?
Where?
In the prison yard on the stretcher. Could he be?
Dead?
Yes.
Yes, it's Henry Werner. Henry hung himself this morning.
Where are they taking him?
The infirmary.
The infirmary? Whatever for?
The report says he died from shrapnel, so they can't give him back until the day after an airhead.
That's abominable.
Standard practice. This way, Allied bombs are the killers, not the conditions of this stinkhole.
Poor Henry.
I just saw him yesterday. He looked real calm. Happy even.
Then he had already made up his mind.
What do you think about all this, Padre?
Sorry?
Well, is there a chapter in your book on suicide?
Not yet. But I suppose there should be. It's an interesting ethical question.
Yes, that's just what I was thinking. It's an interesting ethical question.
How do you feel about it?
Me? Well, I'd call it a sin. I mean, life. Life is all we got, right? A thinking man would see that.
Don't be so sure.
Well, you wouldn't try it,
Funny you should mention it. I'll tell you a little secret, Noblach. After about a month here, I came very, very close to taking my own life.
Don't make me laugh.
You don't believe me?
Not for a minute.
Well, why not?
Because you're not like Henry Werner, not at all. He was such a nervous fellow. Chewed his fingernails off, then started in on his fingers. We had to keep him in mittens at all times. But you're so smart. I mean, so logical.
Yes, but it's logic that nearly did me in. Consider my situation. My family and friends are exerting all their energies in my defense, and they are in unimaginable danger because of it. But if I died, they'd be safe, and their time could be put to much better use. So, logically, you see, suicide is an ideal solution.
It's for cowards.
Perhaps. But there's an insidious temptation to kill oneself in drops of dead weight. To stop, draw a line, add up the numbers. I know what Henry Werner was going through.
So, what kept you alive?
It kept me alive. Grace. Faith. A little love. Strike that. A lot of love. Bach. Beethoven. Handel. A few others. You. Books. A play I'd seen 10 years ago. It's a memory of my mother as a young woman. None of this is very logical, I grant you, but, well, It all added up to a sense that I probably put here for a reason, yeah? I just had to figure out what that reason was.
Did you?
Well, yes. You see, I made a list of things I can still do, even when stashed away in Tegel prison. I can write, after all, I am a writer. I can testify in such a way as to protect my comrades. I can plan for a period after my release. I can keep in touch with all the elements of the resistance movement. And then it hit me. Nobler. This is the front. Here, you're scrubbing it. This tiny cell is exactly the sort of location where the truly important battles can and will be won. But I wasn't about to let Hitler win by default.
Could I move your stool?
Of course. So, that was my salvation.
And have you ever thought about escape?
Not seriously.
Oh?
Do you know that they have reissued a knife and fork to me? So comic. I'd eaten without them for so long that they seemed quite unnecessary.
Well, you learn to get on with very little around here.
So, at first they denied my cigarettes, and I was perfectly happy without them. Now they've restored the privilege. I'm hooked all over again. By the way, have I shown you my cigar?
Cigar? That cigar?
Oh, yes. A wolf, finest in all Germany.
Where did you find that?
Oh, Karl Barth sent it to me. I'm saving it for the day of my release.
It's a beauty. You know what this smells like?
What?
Before the war. 1937 smelled like this.
Yes. It reeks of better days.
Well, I wouldn't tell too many people about it. The cigar might find its way out of here before you do, if you get my meaning.
Noted.
So tell me, Padre, have you ever thought about escape?
You've already asked me that.
Well, it's an interesting ethical question.
Or is it?
Don't kid me. All prisoners think about escape. It comes with the job. Prisoners have nothing else to think about.
Not me. I keep myself so busy that I haven't time to fantasize about such foolish things. I mean, there's my ethics, my letters, my poetry, that new plays that I've been toying with. I read for hours. I exercise, meditate. Sometimes I think there's not enough hours in the day. Now tell me, who has time to dig tunnels with a schedule like that?
You know the guards like you very much.
And I'm fond of them.
You're just a pack of worn-out soldiers. You don't understand the war. Don't particularly care for the Führer. Rumor has it you tried to kill him once.
Don't believe everything you hear.
It doesn't matter. It's just that we're all very fond of you, Padre.
Bless you.
You bring a lot of peace to this pigsty.
Thank you.
I'm telling you this because there's a general agreement among the guards that you should be allowed to escape.
allowed to escape. Whatever for.
Don't get me wrong. We don't want to see you go. It will be a dull place without you, but we know it's wrong for you to be here. And we are all willing to make that sacrifice.
And how could it be arranged?
Oh, you and I would simply walk out the back door into the alleyway and disappear until the end of the war.
You're teasing me.
No, I'm not. We could find a service uniform of some kind, a machinist suit or a guard's outfit. We'd arrange the schedule so that sympathetic men are at all the key points. And then you and I will just walk into the streets and disappear into the countryside.
You would do this for me?
I've never met anyone like you before, Padre. I'm not a religious man. You know that. Fanatical religious people frighten me. I guess I'm afraid of anyone who's fanatical about anything, and yet Padre, I think I would die for you. I'm embarrassed, but it's true. Will you think about it?
No.
Padre.
No. I appreciate your concern, but no. It wouldn't be right.
Right! Is it right for you to be integral prison?
But to escape.
Escape may be your only hope.
But what am I escaping? I may be able to soar off this building, but exile would be a more formidable prison. I'm needed here. At the front, remember? Anyone with any sense of commitment to our cause knows instinctively that back exits of this sort must be avoided.
I don't understand.
Think of it this way, Knobloch. The Gestapo desperately want to get rid of me. Why should I help them by removing myself? If I'm a thorn in their side, I'm certainly not going to pull out and skip away.
Corporal Knobloch. Corporal Knobloch. Corporal Knobloch to the gate. Knobloch to the gate.
Now, I'll have to come back and finish your floor.
No worry, I'll do it.
No, you will not.
Just a corner.
Oh, all right, just a corner, but no more. Padre, please consider my offer. Think about it before you decide.
Little music. That's a metaphor, huh? I must think it through. Polyphonic music such as this. Such as choirs. Our first anthem today is perhaps the most satisfying sound to the ear. Why is this? Well, there's something about the relationship of the various themes, the several distinct melody lines that combine perfectly, gracefully, to make a single composition. Each theme is independent, complete on its own, but somehow more complete in its contrapuntal setting. Now, this structure is very similar to the ideal way man should structure his life. There's the main theme, the technical term, which be a cantus firmus, the basic melody of the composition, and that, of course, is man's relationship to his creator. Yes. But as we know, there are many, many more melodies to life, causing counterpoints. Love of a woman is counterpoint. Career is counterpoint. Family is a counterpoint, but only when the cantus firmus is clear and strong can the others realize their full potential. Yes. Is that clear to you, Flor? No, wait, I haven't finished. Let's see. Analogies could easily be drawn with discordant elements, with a composition that has gotten out of tune. Allegro, largo movements, major, minor keys. The absurdity of the present tied to the fact that absurd was originally a musical term meaning out of tune. Being a flaw, you may not realize that the arts, they have much to say to us. Lights! 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 Oh, dear. There we are. Well, as someone once said, 'tis better to light the candle than to curse the generator, yes? Oh dear, my candle is almost out. Stay awake, Light. So sorry, Flo. My thoughts have been interrupted. Where were we? Yes, cantus firmus. Yes, it's an appealing idea, don't you think? It really gets to the heart of modern Christianity's problems. Today, God is simply not an integral part of our lives. So-called religious people speak of God only when everything else fails. He is a deus ex machina brought into the scene in order to carry out some sort of divine solution. Happens all the time. How many people suddenly find religion when they learn that they're terminally ill? The God of the gaps. Yes. Good phrase, eh, Flo? Yes. Recalling the analogy, this version of religion is certainly not a cantus firmus. Could not even be termed a counterpoint. It is merely a brass chorus introduced during the final measure of a pavane. It is a rust, out-of-tune fanfare intended to get a lagging composition moving again. In music, it would drive the concert goer away from the theater. In life, it has driven the thinking man out of the church. That, I think, is what bothers me most. The church no longer wins over the strong, sensible, independent man. It honestly does not know what to say to him.
Padre! Oh, Padre! It's a good day to be you.
What could you possibly mean by that?
It's your wife. The girl, your fiancée. She has shown up unexpectedly with a big box. And Captain Metz, he has ordered that she be allowed to visit you.
Oh my God. Oh, the room is a mess.
It's only a prison cell. She'll understand.
You don't understand. It's been months. I must tidy up. Oh, she thinks she's been married to a slob of some sort. How much time do I have?
At most, a minute.
Minute? The room's a mess. Oh, why wasn't I notified?
Padre, this isn't your wedding chamber. This is only a jail cell. And there's only so much a prisoner can do. She'll understand. Now, I have been instructed to allow her to stay for 2 minutes. But I'm going to trip on the stairs and sprain my ankle. Who knows? I may have to be carried to the infirmary. That should buy you some extra time.
You're an incurable schemer, aren't you?
Besides, I think it looks rather homey.
Yeah? Do you really?
Bonhoeffer, the visit will be terminated after 2 minutes.
Hello, Snooks.
Oh, Dietrich!
Oh, dear! How long have you been a dancer?
But Grace!
I see you in Swan Lake.
Your floor's bad.
I'm sorry, I hadn't the slightest idea you were coming today.
Oh, Dietrich, I thought they would never let me see you.
Oh, have you tried many times to come?
Yes, each week, but...
The only evidence I had was, of course,
the packages. Oh, I'm so glad you're getting them.
I'm not certain, but it often looks as if some of the food is removed before it gets to you.
How could they do such a thing?
It doesn't bother me. The guards are hungry as well.
Well, they haven't tampered with...
I feel like a child at Christmas.
Oh.
Are there many?
Every book, or nearly, that you ask for in your letters.
Plutarch, you even brought Plutarch.
Yes, even Plutarch, and...
We've done to consider such consideration.
And I brought you some palms. Today is Palm Sunday, you know.
I love you. Yeah. Let me give you a tour of the flat. As you can see, I have a very attractive study remodeled in the latest decorative style. The palms will look nice behind the original artwork on the wall, yeah? Mm-hmm. And the bathroom is spacious, if not elegant. And there's a tremendous view of the terrace. Perhaps the most unusual and innovative feature is that the library is not confined to one room, but runs helter-skelter throughout the whole dwelling.
You have a beautiful library.
Tertullian, Cyprian, Delbruck, Storm, Fontaine, Stifter, Goethe, now Plutarch. Soon will rival the university. I can't understand why they suddenly allowed you to visit.
Nor can I. Usually they're rude and shortlist me when I come.
I can imagine.
But usually I come on Wednesday, and today they phoned and actually asked that I visit.
They summoned you?
Yes.
That is unusual.
Yes, it is.
Something's afoot.
Well, we shouldn't try to second guess them. Let's just thank God we've been given this much time.
Yes. Yes, of course.
Oh, Scheiße! Meinen Fuß! Ah! Oh!
What was that?
Knoblauch falling down the stairs.
Oh, does he do that often?
Only when things get slow. Oh, I have to show you something. We've put our friends in a very awkward situation. Now that the engagement has been announced, I've been receiving the most unusual congratulatory notes. No one is quite sure how to congratulate a prisoner. Here's one from a former student. The news of your engagement brightened my morning considerably. I note that, as of yet, you have not decided on a particular date. Whichever season you choose, Renaissance springtime, peaceful summer, or multi-hued autumn, I'm certain it would be a grand and glorious day. Provided, of course, that you get out of jail.
That's sweet. Dietrich, when will they set you free?
I can't say. Soon, I hope. They postponed the trial yet again, so that there's no way telling at this point.
I cannot stand these delays.
Actually, Maria, we should be thankful for them. It's a very good indication that they cannot muster enough evidence against us. The Gestapo is getting quite frustrated with the whole business. They don't know how we are involved, but they are certain that we are. I mean, we must be. Actually, it's comic. I mean, unlike most detectives, they have the work backwards. I mean, they have the criminals now. All they need is a climb. So you see, I'm really feeling quite confident and secure. You have little cause for worry.
I try not to.
It's difficult, I know.
Oh, I almost forgot. I'm supposed to tell you that Hans has devised a new means of communication between yourselves and the family. It's very ingenious. Whenever anyone sends you a book or includes one in a parcel, if your name is underlined on the cover, it will contain a message. Working backwards through the book, there will be a faint pencil mark of a one letter every 10 pages.
Good. Very good.
If and when you return the book, you can answer in the same manner. This parcel has only 2 books, but both contain messages.
No information about the trial defense, no doubt. Yes, we must keep our stories straight.
Dietrich, I know it was really not my place. But sitting on the tram with these books, I passed the time by deciphering them.
Don't worry, my dear. They won't arrest you because you know too much. Most of our information is coded for an extra precaution.
Oh, I guessed as much. Oh, one book said, Eastern beams creaking loudly, invites delay.
I'll translate that for you if you like. It implies that the battle on the Eastern Front is being lost, and that if we can postpone the trial until the Russians win, we'll be set free.
Then this is good news.
Very good news.
Oh, I'm relieved. Clicking bar beams didn't sound very promising. Perhaps the other message is good as well. It was very short. It read, thus in file discovered.
Oh. That is a bit more serious.
How does it translate?
The Zossen file could contain a stone or 2. Honestly, it is a minor thing. We'll have to be a little more clever during interrogations from here on in.
Dietrich, is it serious?
No, not serious. It really isn't. It's just unfortunate. That's all. It may set us back a week, 2 at most. Honestly, it's a minor sort of thing. I just things were going so well that any backwards motion, no matter how slight, destroys the momentum. It's all right, my dear.
Oh dear.
We still have time. I suspect Novak will be giving us a final warning.
That's nice of him.
Yeah, he's very good. He's a friend. I'm really in very good hands here.
I love you.
I love you.
Perhaps this will become a regular occurrence.
Let's hope so. I've been a model prisoner. I mean, this may be my reward.
No matter what they say, I'll return next Wednesday with a parcel.
I won't sleep till then. I do love you.
It's strange. I feel I know you so much better now. And I love you so much more because of this place. I no longer feel sorry for myself. This is something you must do. That we must do. Together. Never despair. For you're never alone. I'm in here with you. When you get up in the morning, I'm right beside you. When you read a book, I'm looking over your shoulder. When a god smiles, or a bird cries, or the film sings a song in the night, it's me.
The visitation is terminated. Did I do well?
Yes, very well. Thank you. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home. Noblach! 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 Noblach!
Padre, what's wrong?
Noblach, how soon can we mount the escape?
I don't know. I've never tried it before.
Make an estimate.
I don't know. 24 hours, maybe?
That's not soon enough.
Well, maybe less. The sudden change of
Could
plans.
we do it tonight?
Tonight? I'll try, but why the rush? What have you heard?
Noblach, sit down. We haven't time for the full story, although I imagine that while we are in exile, we'll have plenty of time for the chat. But I think if you're willing to risk your life for me, you deserve some sort of explanation. The rumors you've heard are very, very true. I tried to kill Hitler. My cohorts and I were very clever and very calculating, and though we failed, we managed to cover our tracks quite nicely. And yet, a file's been found in Zossen. We had nothing. We had thought that they had been destroyed. That file documented all of my activities during the months before the attempted putsch. I traveled the world seeking support. I collected and cataloged sympathetic persons. I helped draft outlines for assuming control of the government. So you see that if I remain here, I am a dead man. And the last thing Germany needs is another martyr. Does your offer still stand?
I've never been to Switzerland. Is it nice?
Oh, it's lovely, especially in the springtime.
Padre, I am so delighted. I could spit. It's an escape for me too. There's so much to be done. I suppose it would be best at night. Tonight. let me work out the details, and I'll be back around lights out.
Very good.
Oh, Padre, I almost forgot. This may be an awkward time, but you agreed to hold a Palm Sunday service for the men tonight.
I've been looking forward to it, and now I have nothing prepared.
Oh, it doesn't have to be fancy. Just a word or two.
Yes, send them in. I'll speak to them briefly, and you'll be back at 10.
On the nose.
Good. Knobloch, I just want you to know that some days the world will hear of your sacrifice. You are a very brave man.
No. No, I am not.
Risking your life for another. Defying the government, leaving your homeland. If that is not bravery, what is?
I don't know. But it is an interesting ethical question.
What have I created?
Bye-bye.
An interesting ethical question. Knobloch, the floor is still... Oh, this won't do. This won't do at all. Well, Flo, we've had quite a day, haven't we? And to top it off, I've got to concoct another sermon. I don't mind telling you, my heart's not in it. Normally, a sermon is merely a matter of articulating what's buzzing around in my skull, but no. At this moment, having been pushed to the edge of a pretty black abyss, my skull holds nothing but bitterness. I feel so very betrayed. So very betrayed. One man has turned creation inside out, and it may never be put right again. And where is religion? Where is the church? This war has had one and only one positive effect. It has underlined the utter worthlessness of the church as we know it. It is not a way of life. It is a way of sickness and a way of death. Man's only salvation will lie in a religionless world, a religionless Christianity, a faith that will not tolerate back exits to contemporary problems, but meets man head on in strength and in weakness. Is this hearsay? Then I am a heretic. What has become of our world when traitors are the true patriots and heretics are the true Christians? How shall we begin? Oh, I know. I have palm branches for all of you. Corporal Link, could you reach behind the desk and grab the palms? Yes, thank you. If we break them in two, everyone should have one. Thank you. Now, by all rights, we should have a procession and a hymn. Procession would only result in a spate of twisted ankles, so we'll abandon that idea. A hymn, however, would be nice. I'd like to save the more traditional Holy Week hymns until later and begin with the New Year's hymn. I'm sure you're familiar with it. We'll recite it, and I cannot think of a more appropriate anthem for a group of war prisoners. Shut fast the doors of war. In every place let flow the streams of joy and peace. That joy and bloodshed. Now, lights! Lights! Oh, dear. Yeah, gentlemen, hold one moment. It is very small, but it is ours. As someone once said, it is better to light a candle than to curse the generator. I see God's hands in this. We now have a church-like atmosphere that will enhance our little service. Yeah. For once, our faulty generator is a blessing. I've no prepared homily, unfortunately, so I'll use no biblical text. Rather, I'll begin my talk about, I'll talk about an anecdote. Up until a week ago, some sparrows had made a nest in the prison yard, yeah? You'd seen them? I visited them every day. As you can imagine, it was one of the few things that I really looked forward to each morning. But then a terribly cruel fellow crushed the nest and left some of the young sparrows dying on the ground. I couldn't understand how anyone could be so heartless, and I was genuinely depressed for days. It's a sort of a useless death, of dying for no reason. It upsets me. It worries me. In recent years, we've become very familiar with death, hasn't we? War and imprisonment have hardened us, and we have necessarily come to terms with death. Now, don't misunderstand me. I don't think that we've reached the point where we welcome death. No, we relish life too much for that, but our one desire, our supreme wish is that when we die, it will not be a useless death. A dying for no reason. Not one of us wants to be crushed like those sparrows, cold-heartedly smashed by the cruel fellow fate. No. We want our death to be a positive thing, an event which contributes, which is an integral part of our lives. We want to die for something, with a song in our hearts and the knowledge that it must be so. Gets the point? We want to die the way Christ died. So Holy Week is an especially meaningful time for us, isn't it? As prisoners, as dying men, we must concentrate upon making our deaths good, positive events. And if we concentrate hard enough, perhaps our end will be a beginning. May I sing for you? I know this is bad form to be both minister and soloist, but as you can see, as this is a limited operation on a very tight budget, and I must take on added responsibilities from time to time. I happen to love that form of American music called the Negro spiritual. If you know nothing about it, don't worry. I will translate and try to give you a feeling for the style. The title of this hymn is Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen, Nobody Knows But Jesus. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows but Jesus. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Glory, glory.
Padre! Padre. Padre, the Gestapo are at the gate with orders to convey you to Flossenberg.
The Gestapo work quickly.
They're completing the paperwork with Captain Mertz now.
Yes. Yes. What a fine way to end my little sermon. I am your case in point. Your prime example. They are taking me to the death camp. Please. You have much to lose if found squatting in the cell of a dead man. You had better return to your places. Please, please go. Please go quickly. Pray for me. Please go. God bless you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. God bless you.
Goodbye.
Thank
Goodbye.
you.
Yeah, auf Wiedersehen. Yeah.
God bless. Thank you.
There's no chance of escape.
It doesn't matter now. Knobloch, I need you to do one final favor for me.
Anything, Padre. Anything.
Calm down, please. I'll be all right. Now listen to me. You realize that I have written much and want more than anything else that these writings should survive. Please try and smuggle my letters and papers back to my family. You did not get an opportunity to help me escape, but at least attempt to rescue my thoughts.
I will carry them myself to your parents.
There's some food in here you may distribute among the others, and it's some plants. Make sure they're watered.
Yes, of
I hope
course.
Maria gets the books. Okay.
I'll see to it.
Now
Yes.
you must go too, okay? Those papers must not fall into the hands of the Gestapo.
I would kill them before surrendering these funds to their Padre.
You never finish scrubbing the floor.
Don't worry. I'll do it tomorrow.
Goodbye. Be glad we had this short time together. A mighty fortress is our God, a bulwark never failing, a helper he amidst the flood of mortal ills prevailing. For still our ancient foe doth seek to work us woe. His craft and power great, and armed with cruel hate, On earth there is no equal. Did we in our own strength confide, our striving would be losing. Were not the right man on our side, the man of God's own choosing.
Dost ask who that may be? Christ Jesus, it is He.
Lord Sabbath is his name, from age to age the same, and he must win the battle.
At word above all earthly powers, no thanks to them abideth.
The Spirit and the gifts are ours, through him who with us sideth.
Let goods and kindreds go, this mortal life also.
The body they may kill, God's truth abideth still.
His kingdom reigns forever.
Dietrich Bonhoeffer!
They've come.
I'm Jessica Augustine, and I played Maria.
I'm Jennifer Franco, and I played Dietrich's mother.
I'm Lexi Hazen. I play Sabine and Eberhard Betke.
I'm Terry O'Brien, and I played Gary.
I'm Leo Collish. I played Father, Bishop Bell, Brandt, and the prisoner.
I'm Matthew Craig. I played Hans and a prisoner.
I'm Matthew Leptic, and I played Knobloch.
I'm Randy Markison, and I played Klaus in the radio announcer.
I'm Jamie Lee, and I played the radio announcer, Bishop Mueller, a student, and von Gersdorf.
I'm John Haderlein, and I played Gerhard, Bell's secretary, Radio 1, Radio 2, and a Nazi announcer.
I'm sorry, I didn't do sound. I am Donna Hebert, and I played Radio 5, Nazi announcer, American correspondent, Schlebendorf, Nazi agent, and prisoner 1.
And I'm Steve Phelan. I played Dietrich Bonhoeffer.